He's live. All right.
Yeah, g'day everyone, and welcome back to the Gold Coast Titans Frontline podcast. Dane here from Clarkie's Rugby League column, joined every week by Russ from Danny and Blake. My man, how's it going?
Not too bad, mate. Could be a bit better this week. 3 straight losses isn't the best to talk about, but, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I mean, 3 straight losses, nowhere we haven't been before as a club. We've been here, we felt it. And it's unfortunately part of being a Titans fan. You go through
We're very used to it, aren't we?
We are. I wish we had, a better show for you guys, more to talk about today. But the reality is that we just simply don't. Let's talk outside of footy just for a quick second, mate. We never really properly introduced you, I suppose, when you start. So maybe just take a minute or two, man. Let us know exactly what you are, what you do, and also the winter launch that you put out last night.
Oh, thanks, man. But I actually wanted to say a big congratulations to you last week, mate. Baby number 3. Congratulations, Clarkie. I'm sure all the Titans fans will congratulate you with me. Little boy as well, hey? Healthy? Everything going well?
Everything's going well, man. Sleep deprived, but
Yep.
it's a shining light in a tough time for the Titans. And unfortunately for him, his older brother Tate, I signed him up as a Titans member whilst he was still in the womb. I will be signing Junior up very soon as well. So at least I'm adding to the Titans membership.
You're adding, and we need all their members we can get. So
I'm carrying the Titans memberships, mate. But for yourself, mate. So winter merch for Danny and Blake dropped last night. Where can our Titans Frontline viewers suss that out?
They can see it. My missus has, we both have a brand. She has a brand called Effa, which is under dnbcreative.com.au. And so we did all our winter merch yesterday. So if you don't know, Danny and Blake is my page. Been on social media for about 5 years. My missus pretty much carries the whole thing, but I just sort of, I just tag along. But yeah, so we've launched all our winter merch yesterday on dnbcreative.com.au under her slogan, Effa, everything happens for a reason.
Love it, mate. And of course, we are live here, guys. So please roll those comments through, whether you're on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, it doesn't matter. We'll do our best to see them all. And if you are on Facebook or YouTube, we can bring them up on the screen so other people can see yours also. Let's move into our first segment, mate, and let's go to grading our performance. I've got us down for a D+. I think there were some positives, but I can't give it a higher mark because we've seen those positives so many times in the past, mate. What would you grade our performance last round?
I'm going to be a little bit nicer. I'm going to say C-, just because the first 25 minutes of that game, we were looking like an elite top 4 team. And then typical Titans kicked in. But just because I thought the first 30 minutes of that game, our forwards actually stepped up and we matched them, I'll give us a C- instead of a D+.
Look, I was going to go C-, but then I thought, how many times in the past for Titans can we say we had a solid first half or a solid start to the game and then we just blew it? And I think it's so unfortunate because it's literally been happening back like in 2023 when we had a different coach and Justin Holbrook as well. It's not something new. And it's almost like our team has a mindset shift where we score points early, we get in front, Russ, and we're not thinking, how do we score the next try and really put the pain on here? We actually pull back, go into our shell and think, how can we defend points? We can't have them scoring anymore. Do you notice
it's sort of like, oh, we're ahead by 16 points here. How do we win? That's what I feel like. We're like, oh, what are we going to do? And me and you was messaging each other going, we're not confident. I'm not confident. And every Titans fan would have been the same. This isn't enough because we knew everyone had a feeling they were going to run us down. They get one try on there, they were going to run us down. And that's exactly what they did.
So true, man. Like as soon as they got that first try, you and I were like, uh-oh, they're growing in confidence. We're going into too easy. We've seen this script before and we knew exactly what was coming, which absolutely sucks. So C- for yourself, D+ for me, regardless, not the best week for the club. We'll move into our Titans news segment. The Titans have launched a My Holiday package for the New Zealand game. So this actually looks like a really good deal, $1,799, and it essentially covers everything. So if you guys are interested in the New Zealand game, I know you and I are. We'll talk about it after this. But check out the Titans website, and I'll check it out with you after this as well because it seemed like a pretty good deal. Jaden Campbell, we're expected to be without him for the next 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Kieran Foran, he's back training with the main squad, but Des Hasler did say in the post-game press conference he's going to be extra cautious with his return, essentially because We can't afford to lose him again. It would be career ending if we lost him again to the same injury.
Yep.
And Regan Campbell-Gillard did break his nose against the Raiders, but he will play this round for us. Yeah. I've got some mail here, mate, and this is like not something I've usually done on the podcast in the past, but I think people deserve to hear this. So I'm hearing right now that Sam Stevenson is really impressing the coaching staff. He played in Queensland Cup last round for Tweed and was the player's player, 19-year-old centre on our books. But I've actually heard from Andy Raymond on another podcast that I do with him, and he's been in the game for 30-plus years, got eyes and ears around everywhere. We are going to do an outside backs clean out because Des Hasler feels too much of our outside backs are too similar. So, and I did speak to Andy about specific names. I think out of respect to our players, we probably shouldn't name them on here. I don't think that's appropriate. But you can Google, if anyone's interested, Gold Coast Titans zero tackle. It'll have every player there, and it'll have a tick to which year they're contracted to. So you'll see a lot of outside backs are coming off contract this year and next year, guys. So whilst we can't talk about it too much yet because it would be disrespectful, I will say, I suppose, expect some huge changes to our outside backs in the coming 2026 and again in 2027.
Wow. Maybe this bloke might get a debut this year, but who knows? If he keeps going like that, we're having troubles at the moment, and our outside backs, as you're saying, are struggling. Why not give him a crack?
Well, that's the thing. Like, we gave Fitzgibbon a crack, we might as well give someone else a crack. I completely agree with you, mate. And especially if it gets to the stage where we're no longer playing in finals contention. Me, then it comes down to the fact that the coaches have reportedly, as far as I understand, acknowledged they need an outside back clean out. So stop playing those players that we're going to clean out anyway and bring in these young guns like Fitzgibbon, Sam Stevenson, etc., mate. So, I wish
some other good news. I'm pretty sure I saw Carter Gordon's back training with the team as well.
Only very light running, though. So Carter's still...
a start, but...
It's a start, but he's still a long way off, which is very unfortunate. No one ever talks about this, man. Every single year at the Titans, we have a star player injured. The season hadn't even kicked off this year, and we'd lost Carter Gordon,
Kinney Round,
and Kieran Foran. Then we lose Kinney early. Last year, we lose our captain Tino for the whole year. I feel like if I really researched it and looked into it, Bo Firma the year before, and this is all just off the top of my head, man, but if I went back and had a proper look, my God, we've been so unlucky with injuries. So
I agree, man. I agree.
Yeah, and no one will ever say it because we're a smaller club. Like, no one feels sorry for the Titans when we lose. And, fair enough, that's their prerogative. But interesting to note there, mate. Let's go into our game review segment. Of course, we lose to the Raiders 30 points to 20. For me, Russ, my first note, and it's as simple as this: Raiders left edge, take a bow. Titans right edge. We have to have a look at ourselves in the mirror. It was just not good enough. Now, we get to that 16-0 lead. We give ourselves the perfect platform to snap this losing streak and make our fans proud at home. What I did like from a neutral football perspective is how composed the Raiders remained. Even though we pressured them early points, they didn't. It was almost like they knew in their mind, Titans can't do this for 80 minutes. We don't need to change a thing. And so you didn't see the Raiders panic. You didn't see them start forcing passes or kicking on fourth or shifting early. They literally just kept playing the exact same game plan, and it was enough for us to fold, which is like full credit to the Raiders. But as a Titans fan, super disappointing because that comes down to a mentality thing. They didn't change anything tactically. They just physically and mentally were more sharp than us, and they never deviated from that game plan. So it was disappointing in that regard. We spoke about our outside back, pressuring their outside backs to that kicking game. How do you reckon Tommy Weaver went with his kicking game? I thought he was pretty good.
I think Tommy Weaver was one of our better players for sure. I actually feel like he had a really good game. That was probably the best game he's had in a Titans jersey, I reckon. But we were versing, I reckon, one of the best kicking halves with a kicking game in the comp, Jamal Fogarty. He pieced us apart with his kicking game. And like you said, that left edge, Hudson Young made us look silly. He made us look silly. And at the moment, he's got to be one of the best back rowers in the comp. And he showed it. Like, he smashed us. But yeah, their kicking game, Jamal Fogarty, he smashed us.
You're right, man. The kicking game killed us. What's disappointing about that? We had Jamal Fogarty on the books. Who did we get rid of him for? Toby Sexton, who's now at the team that's undefeated.
Yeah, that's right.
Really bad errors with hindsight. Really bad retention there. But look, It is what it is. I agree with you on Hudson Young. Why this actually frustrated me more than it should. He has scored a double in his last 3 games now. So coming in against us, he'd scored 4 tries in 2 games. We would have had to have known how he's going to look to score his tries. And both of them were we got in front of him, but the first impact in the tackle, it wasn't physical enough, which gave him that bit of separation. And from there, bang, he just scored and he made it look easy. So I was disappointed there.
Our goal line defense wasn't good, man.
No.
Not at all. Like, one of the tries, it was the second try. He might not have got it down, but the ref called it a try. So fair enough. Could have went either way. But it was way too easy for letting him get to there. Like, we had 3 blokes there, and it was soft defense.
And you think too, like when we beat the Roosters and the Knights, they did get close or over the try line a few times, but we held them up because everyone was around there and everyone was fighting for everything. And that same mindset was missing. We did speak about in the preview with Tommy Weaver's, we didn't know at the time, we said Jaden Campbell, but it then ended up being Tommy Weaver, to really pressure their outside backs, in particular their back 3, wingers and fullback. I actually thought we executed quite well there. They had 6 errors between all of their backs, so we did enough there. But it's so disappointing that we got what we needed to get right. We executed early, we were on top, and then all of a sudden we just go away from it, or we can't keep it up, or whatever it might be. You know, it's not to say that the Titans aren't capable. They're capable, but how do we extend this over 80 minutes? That's a genuine question. I can't answer it. You can't answer it. Because Des Hasler, who's been coaching for 20-something years, couldn't answer it. Justin Holbrook, who's won premierships in the Super League, couldn't answer it. And neither could Mal Meninga when he was with us, who's the current Australian coach and the greatest Maroons coach either.
No one's been able to crack it, eh? So
yeah, no one has been able to crack it, man. So super disappointing week for us. I will say, big shout out to the Raiders, I suppose. Not too many sides are standing out this year, and I think they are one of them. We knew that'd be a tough test. They were. Yep. So credit to them. And, shout out to Tommy Weaver. I thought having more of a natural 7 there instead of JC did suit our kicking game a fair bit more.
Yeah.
And just having a bit more control to how we were attacking. A lot of times this year, whilst we have had some victories, Jaden Campbell and Brimson were great individually, but they didn't connect well. I thought Tommy Weaver came in at 7 and connected with the rest of the spine.
I agree.
And he's just a bit more natural in that position. So it does make us wish for Kieran Foran back even sooner if we could.
100%.
3, 2, 1's time, mate. Go ahead. Let us know who was your 3, who gets your 2, and who gets your 1, please.
I'm guessing you'll be very similar to me. I'm hitting Big Tino with 3 again. Guy played 68 minutes. He just didn't want to get off the park. He had over 15 runs. Man, he needs to play the whole game. Like, straight up, the guy's a beast. He gives his heart every bloody tackle, every hit up. He gets my 3. 2, I was giving to Tommy Weaver. I feel like I'm pretty sure he had two try assists off the boot. I'm pretty sure. And then 1 point I was going to give to, I think Jalen DeGroot had his best game in a Titans jumper. Made a couple of line breaks. It was tossing up between him and Mo. I think Mo was good as well, but I'll give Jalen DeGroot 1 point.
Yeah, okay. My 3, 2, 1's this round. 3 points goes to Tino for Asul Mala'awi. You hit the nail on the head. Another captain's knock. Like, he comes off for 5 minutes and then he's straight back into his action, getting there for us. Number 2, I had to go with Jalen DeGroot. I agree with you. That was his best game in a Titans jersey. And I felt originally that, he had a real good opportunity to not cement himself per se as our fullback, because we know that's going to be Kinney moving forward, but either cement himself as the backup fullback that could potentially be the 14 and play multiple positions, or put himself in the shop front and shop himself to rival clubs. So for his own future, whether that's at the Titans or not, he was very good in that regard. And my 1 point goes to Bowie Firma. I thought he was strong. Good defensively, defending out wide as well. Not his best game by any measure, but still strong enough compared to the rest of our roster. Either way.
I agree.
Affiliates recap time. So no Canes in the Queensland Cup last round. They take a bye round essentially for the Easter weekend. So as a reminder, Jets are in 6th, Tweeder in 10th. Seagulls, they play as an opener to our Titans in Townsville this weekend at 3 p.m. So if you are going up to Townsville, get there earlier and watch our Tweed Seagulls do battle with Mackay Cutters, I believe it is. And the Jets are in Brisbane against Wynnum Manly Seagulls. They're currently in 3rd. So this will be a really good test for our Jets to see where they're really at. Okay. All righty, next segment, Russ. Any changes to the team? I've got a few notes here. Arama Howe, I just personally don't see what's the point of having him within our 17. No fault of his own. Don't get me wrong. I'm not having a shot at Arama. He's done nothing wrong, but we're just not using him. He's getting token minutes at the end of the game when the result's already decided.
Well, funny you say that.
Final 10, so.
Funny you say that. Isaac Fasuama'awi, 0 minutes again.
Like, yeah, we spoke about this, mate.
So two people pretty much played minutes off the bench. What's the point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think
the rotation just cooked, man.
Yeah, something has to change there. You can't even say he's there for cover, mate, because he could have went to back row once Dave was ruled out. Instead, we move a hooker, Chris Randall, to back row.
Yeah, like, this did not make sense, eh?
It doesn't. So, look, if we're not going to use Arama Howe, fair enough, but let's put it back there or something, someone that we can actually, potentially use in the case of an injury, because Arama Howe is not even there for depth at the moment. He's not even there as cover. He's there for token minutes at the end of the game, and it's nothing against him. It's just how they're using him.
Well,
the other one for me, mate.
Oh, you go.
Yeah, the other one for me, mate's Dave Fafita. He's named at 14, right? But in the post-game press conference, Des Hasler said he's going to miss the next 4 weeks. That was 4 days ago. So I don't think Dave was going to be there. Josiah Pahulu, he is in the reserves, so he could come in. Tuki Simpkins, not in our reserves though. So would you be thinking Josiah comes in for us there?
Yeah, Josiah hasn't played a game for us all year yet. So yeah, why not? But like, it is weird that they said Dave Fafita was going to be 4 weeks. Now they're saying it's not as bad, and he's named on the interchange. If he's fit and ready to go, we want him playing.
Yeah.
So, and I could see that changing. If he's fit, he'll swap with Chris Randall and start the game.
Mate, it's head scratching. Look at Chris Randall's last game in the back row. He did a job for us against the Raiders. Fair enough. Didn't have 200 meters. Didn't have 10 tackle breaks. Didn't have tries like Dave did. So, like, what are we doing? Like, you never want to sit there as a fan, mate, and criticize professional coaches and people that are around the game and know the game better than we ever will. But when stuff like that happens, you do have to stretch it. I can only think that Dave's named there, and we all know Desi Hasler loves to change the team list on game day. But I'll be shocked if Dave lines up. I'll say it now. I just don't see.
It'll be a big ask for him to line up after 1 game miss when he's meant to miss 4 or 5.
And especially when
on a hammy too,
highest risk of reoccurrence injury in the NRL.
Is.
So I think he's just playing. Yeah, as Colt says. He says, I think Desi's playing funny buggers with the team selection. I think he is as well, Colt. I can't see Dave being there. So Josiah Pahulu in for you?
Yeah, I think so. So, yeah, I would put him in over Dave. Jacob Alakwinki he's on the reserves. He hasn't had a crack yet. Other than that, there's 2 outside backs in Fitzgibbon and Francis, so they're not going to be named. And Isaac, who they don't even play. So it'd have to be one of those 2.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage, if our team list stays as it is 1 to 17, I'm baffled. But let's just see how this one plays out, guys.
Loffy's back this week, so that's 5 weeks he's been out for. So that's a big up for us on the wing, and also Brock Gray's back on the bench for us this week. Yeah,
I'm keen to see Gray back. I love his impact, and Loffy as well. I think it's a really important inclusion for us, attack-wise, certainly. Let's go into our game preview and talk about it. Saturday, 5:30 p.m. We're against the Cowboys at Queensland Country Bank Stadium in Townsville. And, I feel like we actually have a good record against the Cowboys when we're not expected to win. Like, we haven't always won the games against them, but we've been good. And, of course, we did get that upset against them last year when they were on a huge win streak, which essentially ended their season. If they win against us, you give them that 2 points, they play finals.
Yeah, that's right.
How close it was. So, yeah, we met them twice last year. We went 1-1. They won in Townsville. We won on the Gold Coast. What chance do you give us this round if you had to say or give it like a number out of 10?
All right, so the Cowboys started the season terrible, but they're actually on a 3-game winning streak, and we're on a 3-game losing streak, and they're coming off a long break. They just had the bye, so I reckon they're going to be at home. They're going to be pumped and ready to go. They're nearly full strength. I give us 3 out of 10.
I'm pretty much at the same number, man. Yeah, look, they're back in form. Wins against South Sydney and
Panthers.
Yes, you could say they traveled to Sydney.
They beat the Raiders 30-20, who we just lost to.
Yep. Very good point as well. Win, at home as well, where we'll be playing them. And that was really the only thing I could say. Could they be a little bit fatigued with the travel, given they were at Perth and stuff like that? But the reality is, coming off a bye, looking for 3 in a row at home, they should have. they'll have more than enough. If anyone's going to be the more fatigued side, it is us. Because 100%. We have tried but struggled for the last 3 games. For me, moments of brilliance have been sprinkled throughout our last few games. But I'm not excited anymore because I've seen that too many times since 2023. And there is still no evidence to suggest that we can go on with it and have that brilliant play for 80 minutes. There just isn't any evidence. It's just optimism, if I was to say so. Stats-wise, we are 1 from 13 in our visits to Townsville.
1 from 13.
1 from 13. It's not been good. I thought the Heat fatigued us against the Raiders, especially when their bench forwards came on. That will certainly be a factor Saturday afternoon in North Queensland. Even worse, yeah. I also predict we're going to struggle to lock down Jackson Purdue. He's playing left centre, Ross. He's got 5 tries in his last 5 games.
That was the player I was going to say.
Yeah. And you know what? He plays left centre. And our right side conceded 4 tries defensively last round. Yep. So we are in trouble. We need to lock him down or at least try to there.
I was going to say that left side was going to be the side that we had to stop with, especially him. Like this kid's only 19. He's already a freak, man. This guy, he's so good. So he's definitely to win. We're going to have to shut him down for sure.
Break it down from your perspective. Just think pure positively. How can we win this one? What's something you think we really need to execute on?
Well, I think we got to start how we start the other day. Our forwards actually match. Like I think the Raiders forwards are way better than the Cowboys forwards.
Yep.
All right, and we match them at the start. We just need to put a full 80 minutes in. Like that is hard to say. Like, you know, and we've never really done that. But like our first 30 minutes of that game, we looked awesome. And it was one turning point. A tackle, RCG dropped the ball, was the whole turning point of that game. The momentum, we just can't give in and go, oh no, one try, and we just give up so easily. Like we can match them in the forwards easily, and especially if Dave plays, our forwards are way better than the Cowboys.
Yeah, I completely agree there. For me, I've noticed with the Cowboys, when teams play for field position against them in territory, the Cowboys are a side that really don't like being kept in their own end. They want to have that flashy attacking opportunities. Mm-hmm. And so they kind of rely on penalties to get them out of their own end, 6 against, and field position and territory. When they are stuck coming out of their own end and defensively sides are all over them, they're the sort of side that we do see come up with an error or push the pass that then creates an error. So what I actually think we should do in this game is instead of rolling the ball in and looking for a repeat set on 5th tackle, that gives them the chance to get it back off the dropout. I think we should just take the tackle 1 meter out and just try to frustrate them. With, like you said, the forwards, just pure physicality, keep them in their own end, play for field position and territory. And I do think this is one of those games where we can come over the top of them later in halves. Yeah. Obviously, the start needs to be perfect. I'm not denying that under any circumstances. But yeah, I think tactically, if we can shift our mindset instead of trying to score every set, it's how do we keep them down here for their sets, then I think we could give ourselves a really good chance. Of course, it needs to be said, we need to play the full 80.
We need to play perfect.
We did beat them in our last encounter. That was on the Gold Coast.
Yep.
Half-time, 20-0. Full-time, 20-18. Yeah. It was a penalty goal from Brian Kelly in the 4th minute that won us the game. That's just more evidence.
That's just us holding on, eh? That's just us holding on.
100%, mate. And we can't rely on that this time.
I'll say the same.
I'm going to go 3 out of 10. Any positive thoughts that I have about this game is pure optimism. I don't have any stats or anything to back it up. So pure optimism for me, mate. 3 out of 10. I wish we could tell you guys something better. I wish we could give you a more happier review of our previous game, but it's the reality.
We're just being realistic. We're being realistic, and at the moment, they'll be heavy favourites, and rightly so.
They deserve to be.
Yeah.
Alrighty, both of us, 3 out of 10 this week. Fingers crossed we're wrong and our team can get it right and get a win that we all really, really need after 3 losses in a row. That will do our Frontline live show for round 7 to 8. Thank you very much for being here with us, guys. And we will see you next week back at our regular time on Monday at 5:30 p.m. So from myself, thank you very much. And
thank you, guys. Go the Titans.
Go the Titans.